Welcome to the Fishbowl Radio, everybody. My name is Chief, and with me today we have a special guest, Jalen Cavalier, that's going to join the Fishbowl Radio here, and my co-host, Juicy. Welcome to the show, fellas. How y'all doing?
Oh, we good. I'm good on this end, and hope everything's good on y'all end.
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me again.
All right, y'all. So the Cajuns are going on the road against Florida State this week here. Cajuns are not favored to win this game. So what y'all think? Since we're going to be inviting, a guest on here, Juicy, I'm gonna let Jalen kind of talk first, and we'll give our input about how we feel about the game going forward here. Jalen, is there something in this game that you think the Cajuns can maybe pull off an upset against Florida State?
I think honestly, I think the only way the Cajuns be able to pull off an upset, they have to score on every possession, whether that's a field goal or a touchdown. They can't go three and out on any possessions against this team. The way the offense has been struggling and the way the defense has been up to par lately, I think the Cajuns will have to score in every possession. They even stand a chance against Florida State.
Okay, so we've been hearing some rumors here around the complex and kind of stuff like that Ben Woodridge is not going to be starting in this game. That Chandler Fields will get the reins of the offense here. Do you think it really makes a difference if Fields is that starting quarterback, or you think Woodridge could be able to have better command of the offense like he has in the last couple of games with Fields being out due to injury?
I think, well, I mean, they throw Chandler back in there, and he was dealing with the injury. He hasn't played a lot lately. I think that can affect their offense because he's not in that kind of rhythm. Whereas he has been in there, yeah, they've been, he has great games and he has a bad game. He has a great game. He has a bad game. But I think that even though that's been inconsistent, at least he's been playing, getting those reps in. So I would honestly, like, if making a call, I would hope Ben would be able to go.
Okay. Juicy, what you think? Any chance the Cajuns can actually make pull an upset here? And what you think would be the key to do it? Florida State is favored to win this game by 24 points.
By 24 points. Yeah, the only chance that that the Cajuns gonna have is if they put some poison in the Gatorade, in Florida State game.
Oh, dang, dude, that's rough.
No,
Jesus,
but
dude.
in all seriousness, though, Jalen's right. They got to take advantage of scoring every chance, and then not to mention with the defense, may have to create a couple of turnovers. Win the turnover battle. You got to be optimistic, especially when you're an underdog like that. With the quarterback situation, I, like he's been inconsistent, but you look at his numbers. He does have 7 touchdowns on the 3 interceptions, so that's not a bad ratio. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, but one quarterback, and a lot of that inconsistency might have to do with them going 2 quarterbacks system to start the year. So that might have a lot to do with it too. So I think it might be better if he plays the whole game, but he does have the experience and the reps already, and he doesn't turn the ball over a whole bunch. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so Ben Woodridge on the year has 15 touchdowns and 5 interceptions on the year. Jordan Travis of Florida State's got 20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Woodridge has averaged about 166 yards a game, whereas Jordan Travis is averaging about 241.4 a game. Chris Smith has a 5.3 rushing average, whereas on the other side of the ball, Trey Benson of Florida State has a 7.4 average. The only advantage in individual categories of like passing yards, rushing yards, and receiving yards is the Cajuns have is Michael Jefferson has 39 catches for 6 touchdowns. He has 669 receiving yards, where Florida State's top receiver is Johnny Wilson with 649. He's got 33 catches and 5 touchdowns as well. So rushing yards per game, this is where these ranks are. I think Yahoo kind of compares all like colleges together because they have the Cajuns ranked 159th and Florida State ranked 31st. Cajuns are 139th in the country. In passing yards per game, Florida State 69th. Total yards per game, Cajuns 157, and Florida State is 23rd, points 4. Cajuns are 165th, and Florida State is 253. So that's the first category the Cajuns have done well in. Points against, Cajuns at 102nd, and Florida State is 69th. So there's not. If you look at the recent games here, Cajuns picked up a win over Georgia Southern, then they lost to Troy, then they lost against Southern Miss, Arkansas State, and Marshall. This is like more recent games. Florida State's on a 3-game winning streak, beating Syracuse, the Hurricanes, Georgia Tech as well, but they lost to Clemson and NC State, some quality competition on their side there as well. So I think one thing for the Cajuns that we can look at here is the Cajuns have a good defense. Is it going to be enough to be able to pull off an upset here? It's going to be interesting to see here. Like I mentioned before, we've been hearing rumors that Chandler Field will get the start here. He does have 7 touchdowns, like you alluded to earlier, with 3 interceptions. QBR rating between both quarterbacks is about the same, with Woodridge having a 129.9 and Fields having a 128.6. So, Juicy mentioned it earlier. I think it's great they reiterated. The turnover battle has to be key. If Florida State plays sloppy with the ball, they're going to lose this game. Because if they have 4 turnovers and the Cajuns have none, if they take care of the ball, the Cajuns, they have a good chance of winning this football game. But the Cajuns haven't been taking care of the ball as well as they have in the previous seasons this year. So if the Cajuns can put it together with special teams, taking care of the ball, they should be in good shape. It's going to be one of those that's going to be a tough one to see here and how these teams kind of compare with each other and stuff. So, like we mentioned, the odds of this game is not looking good for the Cajuns with a 24-point spread. They got the over-under at 52 points. It's going to be difficult for me to pick the Cajuns to win this game here. Florida State is ranked number 19 in the country. It's a tough one for sure. 11 a.m. kickoff early. But, I mean, we've seen the Cajuns go on the road and upset great teams before, like Iowa State 2 years ago under Billy Napier. Different.
I just don't like how bad they beat their own conference opponents right after 3 games from home.
Yeah, that's the thing here. So if they're playing their best football of the season so far, Florida State. So that's something that they'll have to look at. What Cajun team is going to show up is going to be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know. I think if regardless of either one that shows up, I don't think the Cajuns are going to have enough on offense to get it done. I think the defense is going to keep them in this game, though. I don't think Florida State. I think that 24-point rating is a little high in this game. I don't see them getting shellacked if the offense is able to make plays and be able to be in. But I think the defense is going to be a really intriguing part of this game here. I think they'll keep the Cajuns in it by halftime. If the Cajuns are only down by 3 points at halftime, they're going to have a good shot. It's just going to depend on if they're able to play a full game this week like they were able to against Georgia Southern, or are they going to, play a half of football and get blown out. So it's kind of, like I said, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of thing there. So it's just, can the Cajuns get the ball to their playmakers and on the perimeter and get the ball quickly out of the quarterback's hands? Can the offensive line hold off Florida State's defensive line and their pass rushing ability there? So it's going to be how well does the Cajun offensive line gel together in this game and get ready to go and play against Florida State. I got Florida State winning this game. I think they'll win by 14 over the Cajuns. Actually, 17. I'm going to go 17. What do you think, Juicy? We'll go start with you.
Yeah, I got Florida State winning this game by about 28 points.
Okay. Maybe I'm being a little bit more optimistic. What do you think, Jalen?
I think Florida State is going to take it against you. I hate to say it, by at least 24. And I hate to say that for my Cajuns, but I just think I don't think it's going to be even close at all, honestly.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's just the way it goes. All right, LSU taking on UAB this Saturday. Juicy, what you think about this matchup here with LSU and UAB?
I'm pulling it up right now. Yeah. The spread went up half a point, 15. I think, like I was saying earlier when talking. I just don't. I mean, LSU just can't get no respect. They're only 15 points, but if you look at UAB though, I think part of that's because UAB has their running back is one of the top running backs in the country right now. I think that's playing a little part in it. So that's one thing that LSU has to watch out for is Dwayne McBride. He averages the most yards per carry or one of the top in yards per game. I forgot in one of those categories, but so that's one big thing that UAB has going for that LSU has to watch out. But LSU does have a great defense, and they got Harold Perkins for sure. They got he's probably gonna play a big part tomorrow. Well, Saturday night in the game.
What you thinking, Jalen, about this matchup with UAB?
I mean, I know LSU was going to win the game from the get-go, but I feel like UAB could be one of those teams that are trying to spoil senior night. I don't think it's going to happen, but I see LSU coming out there with a sense of urgency, especially after they went to Fayetteville last week and, had an Arkansas team who was at home who really battled LSU, and literally LSU won the game, like Juicy said, because of Harold Perkins. That's what I'm going to say, because he has so many sacks, and that last play where he got made the Arkansas QB fumble, LSU recovered it and sealed the game. So I think going into this game, senior night in Tiger Stadium, I think LSU will come out the gate explosive on offense, do what they do on defense, and it's gonna be not a shot. I see UAB scoring some, but yeah, I think it's gonna be close.
That Arkansas game was the ultimate trap game for LSU.
Well, a big emotional win against Alabama, for obvious reasons. Showed how much respect Alabama gets in the college football world. You can't deny that at all. Yeah, but if you let's look at the rankings of these teams here. UAB's ranked 14th in the country in rushing yards per game. LSU's ranked 73rd. Passing yards per game, UAB's 186. LSU's at 110. Total yards per game, UAB's 40th. LSU's 71st. Points 236. LSU right behind him at 240. Points against 104. And LSU's at 99th in the country. So if you look at this here, they look kind of evenly matched. But now, if you look at the last 5 games, UAB they've won 2 of their last 5. LSU's won 4 of their last 5. Ever since that Tennessee game, LSU's been on a roll. You could say offensively, with the exception of the Arkansas game, 45, 45, and 32 were the 3 games, and you dropped down to 13 there. But LSU's defense, Harold Perkins, really was the reason why they won that Arkansas game. He had the flu before that game started, by the way.
They play their best game.
Yeah, so I mean that was an interesting fact. They didn't let anybody know about that before the game started there. So LSU, they're currently 6th in the college football playoff rankings, right behind Tennessee, and they only got to move up 2 more spots. There's 4 undefeated teams: Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU. So now, in the grand scheme of things, I think LSU is going to win this game. I do think UAB is going to score some points here. They're 5-5 on the year. LSU's 8-2. LSU clinching a spot in the SEC championship game. So so this stuff's going to sort itself out. So at some point here, do y'all see LSU getting in? Now, so let's see here. TCU plays Well, they're gonna have to beat Georgia. There's no other way around. They have to win the SEC to get in here because they already have 2 losses. They got TCU and Baylor playing this week. Illinois plays Michigan. Georgia plays Kentucky. Tennessee plays South Carolina. TCU plays not TCU. Yeah, Tennessee plays South Carolina. And, I think Ohio State's on a bye this week. I'm looking for them, and I don't see them on here. So, yeah, they're on a bye this week. So, but there is something that a lot of people ain't talking about here. USC's playing UCLA this week, which is a very good thing for them. Because if USC beats UCLA, kind of brings up the argument: should they maybe move to number 6 since LSU played UAB and they beat them? If USC were to beat UCLA, because I mean they're a 9-1 Pac-12 team. You're kind of the representative of that conference here, and if you keep winning against ranked Ohio State plays Maryland, never mind. So, and then next week it's going to decide everything. You know, there's a big matchup here, so you got all the ranked teams playing against each other basically in that top 4. Michigan and Ohio State's the big one. 2 and 3.
Yep.
Iowa State taking on TCU at number 4, and then USC once again.
I was just gonna bring that up because I mean the loser of Ohio State and Michigan, you know, they're gonna significantly drop, and then you got TCU, so they could lose to Baylor this week, and next week maybe lose to Iowa State. I mean anything could happen.
So let's say TCU wins out and they're undefeated and they win the Big 12 championship game. USC is playing number 18 Notre Dame. They're playing back-to-back ranked opponents. This is what I think is interesting here. USC goes unscathed in those games. LSU, they're going to be playing Texas A&M, which I mean they're not, great. A&M is not doing good this year at all. 3-7. UAB, I mean they're about to be but they're not like a top 25 ranked teams here. They're both well below that. So I'm wondering, USC, I'm looking at them as a dark horse again in that playoff because they're really like sitting right there. I think LSU, if they win the SEC championship game,
you really can't keep them out.
It's going to be hard to keep them out. But then again, you're going to have Georgia there with 1 loss.
Tennessee might get in. You look at a case where there could be 3 teams.
I don't see them going 3 teams deep in the SEC. I think Tennessee lost their chance.
This is why they can expand it out to 12 teams. They don't have this problem.
Okay, like the question becomes, is LSU, let's say LSU beats Georgia. Tennessee has a claim saying we beat LSU this year, so should we get in over LSU because we beat the SEC champion, but Georgia beat them, so it's like, okay. This committee's going to have a hard thing to look at here, but I think Tennessee might be in a little bit of trouble because they're not playing for a conference championship.
But if you look at LSU, I mean, we weren't even having this conversation at the beginning of the season about potential playoffs, and now look at the conversation what's happened.
Hey, this is about the best the first year coaching year could have went. You cannot ask for better.
About a year-to-year progression, but Brian Kelly's done that like.
Look, I came on this podcast and we both juiced it. I think Jalen, you even did an LSU preview with us, did you? Or did you did the Cajuns?
Yeah, the Cajuns.
And we were both way off. We were all 3 off on that one. Juicy was the closest one because I think he picked them to finish 9-3, I think, if I remember right.
I picked LSU to go 9-9.
I had LSU at 8-4, which I got the 8 wins part, so was I really too far off? Not really. I thought they would lose to Alabama. I thought they would lose to Florida, Hey, like playing your bingo cards, did you have this going on? Potential college football playoff appearance? SEC championship game appearance? I did. I don't think anybody else did either, so there's that. All right, well, I think LSU beats UAB. I just think how it is. That path to the playoffs is going to be an interesting one.
I think it's going to be like 35 or something. The bottom.
I say 35-17 LSU wins.
Fair enough.
Jalen got a score for us?
Well, I'm going to go with. I'm gonna say LSU win. I'm gonna go small. I'll say LSU wins by 14.
Okay, that's fair. So now we're gonna go switch gears and we're gonna talk some basketball here. The Louisiana Ragin Cajuns took on Louisiana Tech. beating them 94-88 here. Cajuns were 54% shooting from the floor. They were 32 of 59 in field goal range, 36% from beyond the arc, 8 of 22 in that regard. They were shooting 69% on free throws. The reason why they won this game, the Cajuns, in my opinion, was their free throw shooting, because they took 32 attempts to the line compared to Louisiana Tech's 14. So Cajuns out rebounded Louisiana Tech 35-25 there. So Juicy, they shot a little better from the Florida Cajuns. Tech was really good behind the 3-point line, shooting 56%, 9 of 16 from beyond the arc. So, Jalen, what you think about this game here so far?
I think it's a good win because if I can recall, the Cajuns were down at one point. Well, kind of throughout the game, and the fact that they were able to come back and get this nice home win against a LA Tech team, I think 4-0 so far this season. Cajuns are doing a great job. They just got to keep it up.
What you think, Juicy?
Yeah, considering they were down at halftime, 42-35, to come out outscoring the weekend Tech 59-46 in the second half, did a good win. Nice 4-0 impressive record. I mean, couldn't ask for a better way to start the season off for sure. 4-0.
The Cajuns, their largest lead they had was with 1:30 left to go in the second half, 86-79. That kind of really helped them out there. So, they had 11-0 run. That was their largest run. The game Tech was their largest lead was only about a point. No largest lead. Never mind. Their last lead was at 5 minutes and 7 seconds left to go in the second half. Their largest lead was 11, with 8:55 left to go in the second half, 72-61. They had their largest run was a 9-0 run. Cajuns did a very good job there of keeping Tech off balance, I think, here when we got toward the later half in the game and not really getting into foul trouble too much there. They were able to limit Tech's attempts at the line there. They had 14 free throws. Tech did not do a good job of limiting their fouls here because Cajun went to the free throw line 32 times and made 22 of them. And that really was the key of the game if you're looking at it from that perspective, because that was 44 points that Tech gave up on that free throw line compared to them only getting no, not my bad. I'm losing my mind. 22 points they gave up compared to the 13 they got. So, yeah, like a nine point swing right there for sure. And that ultimately, if you look at the final score, that was enough to really turn the tide of this basketball game. Because they were dead even in field goal shots. Tech was 33 of 63. Cajuns were 32 of 59. So I'm interested to see what the Cajuns do next year. It's a great start. Last year, I was concerned about Bob Marlin maybe being on the hot seat come in this year, but so far, so good. I mean, you can't really complain too much if you're a Cajun fan about the way this basketball season's going. It's a great time to be a Ragin' Cajun basketball fan, that's for sure.
Really matters when conference play starts.
Hey, they're 4-0. Next for the Cajuns, they're taking on SMU on the road, and then they take on Drake next Saturday. SMU's at Tuesday. So let's see here. So looking at how this goes here, the Cajuns could go possibly. Last year we wouldn't be having this conversation. It's a way different thing. I mean, they're 1-2 so far. SMU. Their next game is against the Aces versus Evansville. But I mean, their schedule they had so far: Paul Quinn, that was an exhibition; Texas A&M Commerce at Dayton, and New Mexico was their 3 games they played so far. So we'll see what happens here in that game. I got the Cajuns beating SMU. Who you got, Jalen?
Oh yeah, I also got the Cajuns beating SMU. Just pick up another good win.
I mean, Jordan Brown's been the leader of the Cajuns so far with 19.7 points per game there. So juicy. Who you got between Cajuns and SMU?
I'd rather Cajuns continuing their win streak and going 5-0 against SMU.
All right. All right. Now let's go back over to LSU and talk about their men's basketball team. They won 91-62 over New Orleans here. LSU was shooting 52% from the floor, 43% beyond the arc, 12 of 28. They had 73% field free throw percentage, 19 of 26 from free throw land, and they had 36 rebounds compared to New Orleans' 29 rebounds. Juicy, what you thought of LSU versus New Orleans tonight?
Thought it was a good win for LSU. I mean, nice little blowout, go 3-0. They were led by Fountain, 15 points, and then he had 8 total rebounds. I mean, so he was a big part in their win tonight. But I like it. I mean, I like they started off 3-0, rolling. So under the first year new head coach Matt McMahon as well. So I like how it's going so far, but still early.
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I think so far so good. Matt McMahon is he started off with barely any players. Had to go in and recruit, get some transfers in there, basically got a brand new team, and they're doing pretty good. 3-0 to start the year. No, I know the competition hasn't been stiff so far, but you can't ask for a better start to the season for this team.
I mean, if you look at it from beyond the arc, the best 2 3-point shooters for the Cajuns in this game in particular has been Justice Hill and Cam Hayes. I mean, they went 3 of 5 beyond the arc tonight here. I know Derek Fontaine went 1 of 1 behind the arc so far tonight. So but he got to the free throw line a lot though. He had 6 free throw shots and made all 6 of them. So, and that's what you want to see from your leading scorer tonight. So the Cajuns had 51 points off the bench. They had 32 points in the paint. I mean, there's second chance points, like we always talk about, is very important here. 14. So the Tigers haven't really had too much competition so far. They're not going to get much competition coming on later on. They take on Illinois State. Then, because they're going to the Cayman Islands Classic, which is Monday. Then they're either going to play Akron or Western Kentucky. And I think after that, I don't know how many teams are in this classic. I'll have to go look back and see. Let me give you actually, I'm just going to go to the website and see what happens here. Let's see, continue to home. So there's actually a good chunk of teams here. Akron, Illinois State, like we said. LSU, Nevada, Western Kentucky, Tulane, Kansas State, and Rhode Island are also in this tournament here. So I want to see how this bracket lines up. They got a bracket somewhere. Schedule, there's the bracket. Okay, so game 1 looks like it depends on if you win or lose, obviously. So if LSU wins, they'll play either Akron or Western Kentucky. I think they'll beat Illinois State. What you think, Juicy?
Yeah, I think that'll be a pretty relatively easy win for us for this Illinois State.
What you think, Jalen?
Oh yeah, LSU is going to take this one against Illinois State and continue that win streak.
Okay, so let's say either Akron or Western Kentucky. Y'all think it matters which one they play in Game 6 on November 22nd? Who you got, Juicy?
I don't think it matters. I think they'll win the next 2 games, be 5-0.
What about you, Jalen?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters. Whoever has to play in the tournament, it's going to be a win regardless.
Okay, so we go to the championship game. Whether on that side of the bracket, you got Nevada, Tulane, Rhode Island, and Kansas State, which I think will make it real interesting. I think Kansas State's one of those teams that can really, potentially give some.
The state legitimate threat they have.
Yeah. We'll see here. It's gonna be a fun one to see for sure. I do see the Tigers actually. I mean, Kansas State's 3-0 so far this year, so they got to play Rhode Island in their first game.
Still lose to it there to play.
So yeah, with Kansas State so far they played UT, RGV, at Cal, at Kansas City. So I mean, they really haven't been tested that much either. So I think it's gonna be between LSU and Kansas State. I got winning this tournament. I'm gonna go with LSU. Who do you think, Juicy?
Why not? I'll take it. 6-0. I think it'll be a clean sweep. Why not?
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, I'm gonna take LSU too. Even though Kansas State in recent years have been a decent team, great team in the Big 12, I think I'm gonna give it to LSU though.
All right. Okay, we're gonna keep going, trucking on here. We're going to the women's side of things here. So I know it has been pretty for the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns, the women's basketball team so far. They're 1-3 so far. Jalen, what you think about the women so far this year?
You talking about LSU women's basketball?
The Ragin Cajuns.
Ragin Cajuns first? Okay. I think so far this year they've kind of been up and down. I know they lost what is her name? I'm losing my train of thought right. One of their best players. I can't believe I can't think of her name right now. Before the season even got going. But it'll come to me. But I think they've been just up and down so far this season. I know Coach Broadhead, lost Ty Doucette, a member of the team that's been starting since her freshman year. He lost her, so had to replace her. Some more players, give them some more minutes because you lose that kind of production on your team. It's like, what are we going to do now? And I think they can get better. They're on a 3-game losing streak right now, but they could bounce back. Their home game is against Texas Tech, which is Texas Tech is a pretty good Big 12 team in themselves. But I think they can bounce back from this. They had a disappointing loss against Jackson State. I think a loss like that will put it in their head like, oh yeah, we cannot do this. Like we are the Ragin Cajuns. We got to bounce back. So I think they will.
What you think, Juicy?
Yeah, it's been rough for them. I know they had a little rough stretch against number 3 ranked Texas and Colorado and Jackson State. For sure, it wasn't pretty. They haven't exactly pretty much kind of have the best of schedule, but it don't help when you lose one of your best players either. But honestly, I think they are going to bounce back, like Caleb said, but it's not going to be against Texas Tech. After Texas Tech, if you look at the schedule, they got North Texas, Abilene Christian, LSU Shreveport, Louisiana Christian. So after that Texas Tech game, I think they can reel off maybe even all the 4 games after that. So I think it'll get a little bit better for them after Texas Tech.
I agree with you,
and
Juicy.
Brandy Williams.
That's what it is. I was thinking of it too. There you go.
Yeah, a great scorer that they lost at the beginning of the year. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's always tough for a team to kind of overcome. Like when you get one of your predominant production from this person and you lose them, you have to retool your way to how your offense looks, your kind of sets that you're going to run, rotations. All that stuff gets thrown into a rock and a hard place because you're trying to figure out, all right, how do I get production from this person because I lost them? So North Texas, Abilene Christian, LSU Shreveport, and Louisiana Christian.
Good 4 wins. I think.
That could even them out. I think they'll lose to Texas Tech, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be like we expected to win this one. Their worst loss this year was Jackson State, in my opinion. You kind of expect them to play better than that. Colorado's understandable, Texas understandable, with Texas being ranked in the top 5 in the country. But with them playing such a tough schedule early on, it's going to help them out later on in the year when they get down to conference play and have to play their peers. So
I think so.
I think that will help them out right now. It's a tough patch right now. Tamara Johnson, she's been leading the way for the Cajuns in points, about 10.8 a game. So
the schedule gets better after Texas.
yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a good little run until they run into Auburn and Lamar. But Auburn, we'll see what happens. I got the Cajuns beating North Texas and Abilene Christian. I think that's the next 2 games there, which we'll have an episode next week at some point before that. But we'll kind of go more in detail about that. But I think the Cajuns do beat North Texas for their next game. I think that next 4 games will be better for them for sure. All right, so let's talk about LSU women. They have set a school record for 4 consecutive 100-point game scores. The LSU women's basketball team has been on fire as of late. Juicy, what were your thoughts for those 4 games that the LSU Tigers have played so far?
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's they definitely have their offense rolling right now. School record, Kim Mulkey definitely has it going in the right direction. But I mean, 4-0. I mean, it hasn't exactly been against like stellar competition. Bellarmine, Mississippi, Iowa State, Western Carolina, Houston Christian. Then they got Northwestern State coming up, who I think that's probably could easily put LSU score another 100 points against them. I think that's very possible. But Kim Mulkey recruited well, got a couple of 5-star freshmen in the class that are already playing. So, I mean, I definitely like where it's going. But yeah, the next 3 games could easily be 100-point games for LSU for a little bit here.
What you think, Jalen, about LSU's performance so far this basketball season?
Oh, they're playing fantastic basketball. I was reading something yesterday before they played their game against Houston Christian, where it said through 3 games that's the most points combined, scoring wise, that NCAA women's basketball hasn't seen in years. So the fact that they're able to score hundreds of points, but like Juicy said though, it's not against the best competition. But it's early in the year, and the fact that they're able to put points like that on the board, which you haven't really seen an LSU team do that in the past, that just tells you that add these 5-star, add these great players, and then Kim Mulkey, who should be the coach of the next decade, coach of the year for next decade, because she left a Baylor team that was successful to come to LSU, her home area, so home state. So I think it's clicking on all cylinders right now, and we're going to see what they're going to do when SEC play comes around.
Yeah, I think LSU, their offense is rolling. I'm kind of, I'm always skeptical about teams that start off this hot. Can they keep it going throughout the rest of the season? Because it's early. It's way early in this basketball season. And LSU don't really start to get into some tough competition until I'm scrolling down to try to find somebody.
But if you look at their schedule, they only got 2 ranked teams on the whole schedule.
Yeah, you got South Carolina on there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's only 2 ranked teams on the whole entire.
They start conference play on December 29th against Arkansas. So once you get in the conference among your peers, how well do you perform? Oregon State's another team that I'm kind of looking at to see how well they perform, another Power 5 school, and see. But it's going to be interesting to see. I think they'll keep it up. I think they beat Northwestern State pretty easily, and George Mason. I think they win their next 2 games. What do you think, Juicy?
Oh yeah, no doubt. They both the blowout wins easily.
What about you, Jalen?
Oh yeah, they should they should take that with ease. They should win the next 2, maybe the next 3.
Yeah, Southeastern out for George Mason.
Yeah, and they got UAB also in there too. So, all right. Are y'all ready to pick some college football games? Top 25. We're going to run right through them here. We'll see here.
Let me get back to my AA football here.
So Tulane, they beat SMU already. So we can't pick them.
They're going to win, no doubt.
Yeah, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let me. Oh, why you got me on the? Okay, let's do top 25. So Navy versus number 20 UCF. Juicy, who you got in that game?
Oh, I got UCF. It's not really gonna be close.
Jalen, who you got in that game?
I'm gonna go with UCF. They're gonna take it.
All right, I'm gonna go with UCF. I think they're gonna win. They got a 16-point favorite. I think they easily got that one. All right, we already picked the Ragin Cajuns and the Seminoles. Juicy picked Florida State. Jalen picked Florida State. I picked Florida State. We all had kind of different. We went kind of deeper into it earlier in the podcast. So if you missed it, scroll that back that way. So anyway, Illinois versus number 3 Michigan. I got Michigan winning this game. What y'all think, Juicy?
I got Michigan as well. I do think Illinois might make it interesting though, because Brett Bielema's got Illinois playing pretty well this year. But I think Michigan's going to take this game.
Jalen?
I'm gonna go with the Wolverines. I think they're gonna take it and set up that big time matchup with Ohio State.
Austin P versus number 8 Alabama. I have Alabama winning this one easily. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh, I got Alabama winning this game.
What you think, Jalen?
I'm gonna go with Alabama, of course, and then Bryce Young is gonna have a stellar performance to keep his name in that Heisman watch.
That's going to be interesting to see. I wish Harold Perkins was in that, but
defensive players don't get that.
Yeah. So it's a quarterback award. Kind of wish it was not really a quarterback award too much. I think the last non-quarterback to win it was Reggie Bush, right? Yeah, you're right. Well, I think he's the first one in 15 years. I think
the first one in the hometown wide receiver to win, man.
Yeah. Number 4 TCU versus Baylor. I got TCU winning this game. Who you got, Juicy?
I got TCU. I was impressed with their technique when they played some defense, actually.
Yeah. What you think, Jalen?
I think TCU is going to take it in a close one. It's going to be a very close game, but TCU is going to pull it out.
Yeah, they're 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to go with field goal on TCU, but I would not be surprised if Baylor won this one. Number 15, Kansas State versus West Virginia. You know what, guys?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, you don't want me to do it?
I'm just joking. Whatever.
Because I'm not doing it. Kansas State's gonna win. Who you got, Juicy?
I got the Wildcats. Man, I was about to say, I know you're not that.
Hey, they're only 7.5. They're only 7.5-point favorites. I mean, dude, if I was a bet man, I might actually do it. What you got, Jalen?
I'm not a bet man. So.
Oh yeah. Nah, I'm not going with West Virginia. Kansas State all the way.
All right, number 23, Oregon State versus Arizona State here. Give me the Beavers. What you got, Juicy?
I'm gonna go with the Beavers.
What you got, Jalen?
Yeah, I think Oregon State's gonna take this one.
Boston College versus number 18, Notre Dame. Give me the Fighting Irish. Who you got, Juicy?
I think Boston College is gonna lose this game, so give me Notre Dame.
Who you got, Jalen?
Notre Dame got the biggest win of the year, knocking off Clemson. Yeah, I'm gonna take them in this game.
All right. Speaking of the team, they just got beaten. They just handed their first loss. Miami Hurricanes versus number 9 Clemson. Who you got, Juicy?
I'm gonna go with Clemson. They're gonna bounce back from that Notre Dame loss.
What you think, Jalen?
Yeah, Clemson. I'll go with them all the way.
I got Clemson winning it too. Should be an easy one for them, hopefully. But it is the Hurricanes. But at 19 point, they should be able to get that. Ohio State versus Maryland. I have the Buckeyes winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
I got the Shuckeyes winning this one.
What about you, Jalen?
Ohio State, Buckeyes all the way.
Dot the I of Ohio. Number 11, Penn State versus Rutgers. I got Penn State winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh yeah, this is Penn State all the way.
Jalen, who you got?
Oh yeah, Penn State. They should take this one.
Man, I thought you were about to make some jokes about Penn State. I was getting nervous there for a second. No. Number 1, Georgia versus Kentucky. I got Georgia winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
Oh, definitely of Georgia. How would anybody want to think about this in Kentucky after the rest of the last week?
You know, guys, you can't take these people anywhere. Who you got, Jalen?
Then they beat them in the books and on the field. Oh yeah, Georgia all the way.
Okay. North Carolina State versus Louisville. Louisville favored by 4. Okay, usually whenever they do something like this, somebody knows something I don't know in Vegas, so I'm going with Louisville for an upset. Who you got, Juicy?
You know, I'm gonna stick with the rankings. I'm gonna go with NC State.
Who you got, Jalen?
Yeah, I'm going NC State also. I think it's going to be a close one. I think NC State will pull it off.
Man, dude, I don't like seeing them odds at Louisville at 4. I think there's somebody working some magic there.
They must have a lot of Louisville fans making these lines.
Number 25, Cincinnati versus Temple. I got Cincinnati winning. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, I got Cincinnati winning this one.
Who you got, Jalen?
Oh yeah, Cincinnati's going to take this one.
Georgia Tech versus number 13, North Carolina. I got North Carolina winning this one. Who you got, Juicy?
I got to fight Mac Brown, man. Get him started here.
Who you got, Jalen?
Oh, it's a tough one to choose from. Yeah, I think I'm going to go North Carolina, though. Yeah, I'm
All right. Number 5, Tennessee versus South Carolina. You know, the Gamecocks, they're going to go on ESPN, and they're going to lose to Tennessee. I got Tennessee winning. Who you got, Juicy?
I got the Volunteers winning this game.
Who you got, Jalen?
Yeah, Volunteers all the way.
All right, number 22, Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma. You know, this is a very fun game. Oklahoma's favored by 7.5 points. And I think they're going to get bowl eligible. Give me the Boomer Sooner, baby. Who you got, Juicy?
Man, I think Oklahoma State's going to find a way to pull it off. I'm going to go with Alpha.
Man, am I the only one going to pick an upset? Come on, Jalen, what you got?
No. You're not going to be the only one because I'm going to go with Oklahoma also.
Oh, yeah, baby.
I think that it's a rivalry game. Oklahoma's been struggling. I think it's going to take this one.
I understand why y'all picking up this.
Number 14, Ole Miss versus Arkansas. Ole Miss favored by 2.5. I got the Rebels winning this one, but they might be due for a letdown game here. Consider they didn't show up there.
This is where I say my upset pick for, baby. I'm going with the Razorbacks.
Oh, there it is. Who you got, Jalen?
I'm going to go with the Rebels, but, you know, if Arkansas pulls out this win, it wouldn't surprise me.
All right, number 7, USC versus number 16, UCLA. You know, UCLA, they would love to spoil USC's season. I think USC is going to lose one of these last 2 games. I'm trying to figure out who's it going to be. Now, I think they're going to get past UCLA, though. Give me the Trojans to beat UCLA. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, this is going to be a close game. I want to watch it. Chip Kelly's got a good team, UCLA. But I'm gonna go. But I'm gonna go with the conference too. The Trojans conference.
Oh my gosh. We can't take UC anywhere. This is exactly why we can't take him anywhere. Oh, this guy right here, man. Oh. Pour me a fifth. All right. Jalen, who you got in this game?
USC. USC. That was a good one.
Look, okay, now, if y'all watching this podcast right now, I apologize completely, but I'm gonna add to what Juicy said. There's an interesting mascot. If y'all want to check him out, he's with the Rhode Island School of Architecture. I'm not gonna say what he is, but he's kind of an interesting mascot. So if y'all want to Google search who this mascot is, it's a very interesting one that I think a lot of people might be interesting to know about. So just don't have any kids by you when you do it. That is your warning. Colorado versus number 17 Washington. I got the Huskies beating Colorado. Who you got, Juicy?
Yeah, give me the Huskies.
Who you got, Jalen?
Yep, Huskies all the way. Same, yeah.
All right. We already picked LSU, UAB. We all picked LSU. No shock, no surprises there. Number 10 Utah versus number 12 Oregon Ducks. Now, lately Utah's been having their way with Oregon. They have been.
But that's my butt.
If was a fifth, we would all be drunk. But you know what? Utah's gonna go and win this game over Oregon. Give me the Utes. Who you got, Juicy?
Man, I know what you mean. Utah's had their way, but I think Oregon's gonna have their way this Saturday. I'm gonna go with the Ducks.
All right. Jalen, what you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ducks. I'm gonna go with the Ducks also.
Okay. Well, I think we covered all the top 25 games here. Yeah, I don't see any more on my list. Thank y'all for tuning into the Fishbowl Radio. This is a very long episode to shoot. I hope y'all have a great and wonderful day. This should be a very good one here. So, anything you want to say before we get off the air here, guys?
Oh, I don't think so. Not me, anyway.
What you think, Jalen?
I just want to say appreciate you for having me.
All right. So, Jalen and I was going to go kill it on Rocket League in a little bit, probably. So, thank you for tuning in. Hope you have a great and wonderful day. We will see y'all next week here on the Fishbowl Radio. You know, we're only 1 week away from Thanksgiving, so want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. So,
on the show, I'm on.
Yes, Juicy's on baby watch. His wife is expecting their first child, so congratulations to y'all. Juicy, hope everything goes well for y'all next week, because I probably won't be hearing from you next week at all. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one here on the Fishbowl. So the Fishbowl family is growing by one, so it should be a fun time. We got to try out all the merch with kids with Juicy's child, so it's gonna be fun. All right. Have a good night, Fishbowl Nation.
Good night, Fishbowl.